Good evening, poets, and welcome to our first ever Writers Wart event. Somebody pinch me. Is this really happening? I was hoping for a good turnout tonight. Looks like I got it. We got chaos here. I have a friend from work here. Hi, Tina. Billy H, of course. Henry L. Jones. Donna Jane Whitney. Everybody. I love it. Thank you all for coming out in this rainy weather. I also have my best friend here tonight and my older sister. Thank you so much for being here. This one in the pink sweater, she's my older sister. She came out and helped me. Well, they both did. They both helped me. And they are the women beneath my wings. Thank you so much for helping me. But the one in the pink sweater, she is single. So if gentlemen, if you would like to buy her drink, she likes chai lattes.
She needs one more.
And we have the great Christine Hall here. She's here to support me. The wonderful person that she is. Thank you so much for being here. I have very big shoes to fill tonight. This was Poetry in the Brew, hosted by Christine Hall. Now it's Writers Wart, hosted by me, Silence Wordsmith. So, the pressure is on. Let me reiterate what a Writer's Wart is. So it's not a wart, but a callus that you get on your finger when you write by hand for an extended period of time. So I got one when I was 16, still have it. And so who's ready to hear about the changes? Yeah? Let me ask you again. Who is ready to hear about the changes? Yeah, I get it. Change is scary. Okay, so the first change is that this mic is cordless. But wait, there's more.
Oh, there's two mics.
We have two mics. What? We have two mics. Isn't that awesome?
The only thing you're missing is a dog.
So, with two mics, that means that you can come up here and you can have a duet, you can have a battle, whatever you want. So that actually gives you more freedom in your writing. And with these cordless mics, you can have more of a stage presence. You can come up here and you can pitch a fucking fit if you want. You will have more of a stage presence. So, and also we have a mic stand, of course, if you prefer hands-free. Let's see what else I could tell you. This speaker, I got it from Rockville. I absolutely love it. It has wheels, so I can just wheel it around like a suitcase, and I love that. It also plays music. So if you ever want to recite poetry while playing some instrumental music, you could do that. Just email me the link, and you just email it to www.mc2022@yahoo.com. That email address is on this business card. If you don't have a business card yet, grab one before you leave. So there's that. And you're probably wondering what's going on over here. So every participant, every poet that comes up to the mic to share will get either one rose or one piece of candy. Because who doesn't like flowers and candy, right? And don't we all deserve something for coming up here? So we got that. And a little bit about me. My name is Sarah, but I go by Silence Wordsmith here. If you would like to put a smile on my face, call me Silence. So I was born and raised here in Nashville, and I am one of 4 children, and I work at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. I'm a sitter there, which means I keep an eye on patients, make sure they're doing okay. I've been writing poetry since I was 15. I have featured here back in April, and now I'm your host. So, enough about me. Let's hear about you. So, I have this idea. I'm gonna go out of camera here for a second. I have this idea of like, I feel it's my responsibility as your host to get to know everyone. So, I want to try to get to know everyone. So I had the idea of interviewing everybody. If you would like to be interviewed. So if you would like to be interviewed, the idea goes like this. You write down your name and contact information on these cards, and then you grab a paper clip, you clip it, put it in the hat, and at the end of each show, I will blindly pick out a name out of a hat, and I will interview you that month, and I will post it to the website. So that is a way to get your information out there. So something else that we're going to be doing differently is that I'm going to have people volunteer to feature. So you could do that. I may come up to you to see if you'd like to feature, but that's completely up to you. And we don't have a feature tonight, so we might fill up that time with just a little break. And that being said, I think that's all the changes. Let's go ahead and start our show. And I know I saw Billy H sign up as number 1, so let's hear it, Billy H.
The reason I like to go first is because, as Mary Beth knows, I sit there still looking at my cheat sheet and can't focus on the other performers. So if I can get this out of the way, then I get to sit down and enjoy your performances. And it just seems to work a lot better that way. When I look at this assembly, I see minds ahead of your time. That description fits, I think, one of the greatest thinkers this world ever produced, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo proposed a lot of things for which he doesn't get credit. He proposed the heliocentric universe 40 years before Copernicus. He proposed the design for a telescope 60 years before Galileo. He proposed the law of gravity 200 years before Newton. And he proposed human evolution 400 years before Darwin, choosing science over superstition and reason over religion. Michio Kaku says because of that decision which Leonardo made, the Vatican of physics today is located in Bern, Switzerland, not Dallas, Texas. So he may have really done the world a favor. Now, Salman Rushdie says the universe simply doesn't give a damn about us humans out here in the boondocks. But David Bohm, the physicist, dares to disagree with him. He says the atom contains the cosmic code, and our DNA contains the genetic code, and that, he says, makes us microcosmic celestial beings. As we approach Christmas, Hanukkah, and Ramadan, people ask me, Billy, what do you believe and where do you worship? And I tell them, it's one and the same. in Leonardo's cosmic temple. I worship in the cosmic temple, Mother Nature and Father Time, and I never cease to be amazed at creation's unique designs. No two snowflakes or leaf patterns are exactly the same. And I see magic's fingerprint all over this eternal flame. At the altar of awesome, I pay my respect, where the horizontal horizon and the vertical sky connect. In the symbol of the cross, uniting human with divine, mind, body, and spirit. One soul made whole, the cosmic temple. You are the truth you've always been seeking, and the secret you've been keeping from yourself all these years in the lockbox between your ears. So discover what you've always known. The life you save must be your own, and love has laid the cornerstone on which to build your cosmic temple. Cathedral spires will wax and wane, but the cosmic temple remains self-explained but subject to change.
Hey, Billy, you forgot your rose. Rose or candy. I know, we're going to develop a new habit.
The rose is for me. I'm sorry, the rose,
You can.
the rose is for Mary Beth. The thorns are for me. She told her two best girlfriends when we first started dating that she had finally met her knight in rusty armor. And after being married to me for a few years, she said to those same two girlfriends, you know, I wouldn't trade Billy for anything, but there are days I would like to loan him out. So thank you on behalf of Mary Beth.
Yeah.
The other are
Let's hear it again for Billy Ann. All right. So up next, we have someone I just very recently met. Her name is Tina Nichols. So I met her a few days ago while I was working at Vanderbilt, and I read some of her poetry and was blown away. She has such a kind heart, and I'm sure you will agree. It's Tina Nichols, everybody.
I got my cheat sheet already. I've started writing since 18, and that's where most of these came from. My first one that I wrote, let me get you close. It's called Love, Love. L is for laughter that a couple should share, laughing at moments because they care. O is for one, that one unit they should be, and eye to eye is where they should see. V is for vibrant, the couple should stand out, laughing at moments because they're out and about. E is for eternity, the length their love should last, planning for their future and having memories of their past. Love spells love. Love is very giving. Love is so special and makes life worth living. Let's see. This one's a little bit longer. I call this one To Become a Better Person. This past year, I've been through a lot. There were some good times and times that I've fought. I've never blamed the right person for the problems that I had. I hurt all the ones around me the times that I got mad. I've always been sensitive and took everything to heart. For some reason, I thought that was my part. But I finally figured out who was the one to blame. This person at fault should feel ashamed. All this time, it's been the pessimistic look, a very bad attitude. I've read that part wrong, I'm sorry. All this time, it's been been the attitude and the pessimistic look that set the bad moods. Now it's time to confess. What more can I say? It's been me all along. What a price to pay. To hurt my family and some friends too is the price I've paid if I'd only knew. I couldn't go on if I lived like my past, the pain, the insecurity. I've decided to be strong at last. On January 1st of this new year, I've made up my mind, which was last year. I've made up my mind and everything's so clear. A positive attitude and optimistic outlook has made me feel better to think that's all it took. There'll be sad times, I'm sure I'll cry, but changing is important and I'll do more than try.
Thank you, Tina Nichols. I'm so glad that you came. Thank you for coming. Oh my goodness. When I heard that she wrote poetry, I was like, you have to come to my show. So you forgot your rose though. You want rose or candy?
Rose.
Go for it. Get it, girl. All right. So up next, we have a poet that doesn't like warts, but he's here anyway, and we are so thankful that he is. Chaos is in the house. You're up next, Chaos.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to share with you a piece from this book. This book is entitled Chaotic Verse Musings. It's a very wonderful cover by Henry Jones. And the piece I'd like to share with you is called Keeping Score. I know him, I said, but we were just walking away. We were just walking away from that blood-soaked spot. Behind us, an old man was lying, dying. Behind us, an old man lied dead. Just seconds ago, all was well. He spoke to me. Just seconds ago, he spoke to me, don't you see? Now, some third night has sent that old man toward heaven or hell. Behind us, his blood now runs free on streets that he helped wear slick. That old man, not here anymore. Life gone so quick. Life lived so long, stolen by quick. And we were just walking away. Behind us, no one is left to help keep score. Behind us, no one is left to bring us up to date upon what happened before. Behind us, no one is left. It's called keeping score. Next piece is entitled Animal. They want to treat me like an animal. An animal. They want to lock me in a cage. Treat me like an animal. They're trying to push me to a rage. Drug games, sex scenes, gunplay. It's all going to end the same. With me doing time, walking blind while they play games with my mind. They want to treat me like an animal. They think we're all the same. Treat me like an animal. Don't even know my name. I'm a man! I took a stand. I hold my babies by the hand. So you see, I'm not an animal. It's just a state of mind. I got some pride, got God inside, got you to love by my side. No, I'm not an animal. Have no need for a cage. No, I'm not an animal. God's love for you and yours for me helps to cure my ways, helps to cure my rage. I'm a human being. I'm trying to live the dream. I'm a person trying to stop the hurting. I love you for loving me and showing me my part. No longer acting like an animal. My heart is filled with God. That's animal. This is a piece called Full Circle. Bear with me. Yeah. Oh, my Lordy. Oh, my God. Sometimes I think I will sit and drink my life away. But I heard my mama say, son, don't go out that way. Run. So I kneel down to pray. You know, I've been a gang banger. I've been a dope slanger. I've been a grief bringer. I've been a bell ringer. I even tried to be a gospel singer. I am a recovering almost everything. Still, I stand alone. I'm frozen in time. I'm a legend only in my own mind. I'm no longer this. I'm not quite that. There's nothing documented. There are no proven facts. I'm still a mystery to crack. Again, I've been a door gunner. I've been a numbers runner. I've been a corner turner. I've been a bridge burner. But I ain't never been a beggar or a bummer or a slow learner. Now, I know you heard all the things I said I've been. So hear me now when I say I'm breaking free of sin. Even now, I'm not just out here trying to quit it. I'm still running around trying to go get it. Only this time I don't entertain any thoughts of ever splitting it. When it comes to serving my God, I'm totally dedicated and fully up with it. Yeah. Oh, my Lordy. Full circle, y'all.
Okay, so the show wouldn't be complete without you. Would you like rose or candy? I'll bring it to you. You don't have to come back up here. A flower? So up next we have Amy Hoskins, who couldn't make it out tonight. So I am going to read for her. This is called Magic and Blessings. Glassine sky, lily beings, summer flashbacks, rainy day. Dream away, says Jimi Hendrix. With my fingers I play with the sound. Lace is made at the edges of the sea where it meets the sand. Escape into Alice in Wonderland. Escape into metaphor, magic realism. My heart is still living out of a suitcase since I had to leave you. It's the floor where we live, you and me. We will mark this floor together. We are blessed. A dense wall of inaction. The planets are misaligned for today. A proclivity of angels when we need a multitude of angels. Culture as tinsel as a cat, beginning to growl and hiss, turning in on itself. She says, don't. Keep giving me things. I'm trying to let go. Go lightly. The first truly deep breath of the day. Azucar, sugar. I'm gestating. I'm something in my womb, a voice that will describe it, make it so. I laugh from a deep place. I laugh at pain when it becomes ridiculous. I used to dream of the conversations we could all have one day. If only there was more progress. We could create a universal salon, an assembly line for cherry tomatoes, green onion, cucumber, potatoes. Slow food, a rhythm in the doing, blooming in the sun, Audrey Hepburn and ballet flats. This is magic because I say it is. Lighting a magic candle, sitting on the floor. I can't be still for want or old screams that never came out. It takes a lot of time to talk it out, unwind the spools, harvesting herbs. I feel more at peace, simply tangible. Therapeutic, oregano, thyme, rosemary, lavender, mints, for cooking, for tea. This soothes me. The rain will come. We will wait. That's one poem. Applause. By the way, Amy Hoskins, she is the artist of the week. And she has her name in lights right now, and I am so jealous. She has her painting on this great big digital billboard in between Broadway and West End. I see it every day on my way to work, and yeah, just jealousy. Okay. The next one is called Science Fiction or Reality. Where dirt comes from, we are one with the earth, despite our fastidious scrubbing to stay clean. If we don't save the planet, we will become extinct. We've known since the 1960s, now we have to stop the clock on drilling and feasting off resources and consider our fate. God doesn't want us to be passive on this planet, but to do good in God's name each day instead. An active God guides the heart, not the wallet. Check my horoscope for how I'll be feeling today. Check the forecast for summer rain. Bring it, lightning and thunder. Rain on my parade. The sniper who with the rifle on the roof killed 6 people is taken alive. He's white. The black man is in Ohio, unarmed and running, did not survive 60 rounds, but they handcuffed him after the fact anyway. Fighting on July 4th somewhere in the world, hear about rights versus rights, separation of church and state, the Constitution, cult of personality. We have to choose. I do my best. I'm a mess. Just the same, sadness becomes a Sunday night, headed home after the magical weekend. Reality becomes what's on TV. Reality hits each Monday. Storms fall out of nowhere from the sky. We desperately need the water. Science fiction meets reality when the Hunger Games become real. That's the second one. Third one is called Girl with Balloons. Why did the little girl let go of her birthday balloons? Shiny puffs of red, fluffy hearts, and they whisked past the window. I imagine her deciding now is the time, freeing the tugging ribbons from her hand, watching them disappear into the pale blue sky, far, far away. A calculated loss, you might say, but still she didn't expect to make the blue well. Inside her, bluer still. Thick in her throat with grief, nothing could touch it. The chords are in her DNA. She hears but can't express them. The dream catcher catches her wiriest thoughts. We used to walk lockstep in high heels for work and evenings out dancing. My back can't take them now, and I question the logic of women's footwear. I worry about the whole world inside out all the time. Turn sorrow into prayers and love for the world to grow. Propel itself into progress among decaying systems. Create new places for everyone and everything. Harmoniously, my hope and prayer mantra. Yet the villains rage against the very love. This hope, strategic missiles, got the communication tower, the nuclear power plant, thankfully no apocalypse yet, still shelling, although pretending a ceasefire, so much lying on the part of major bullies. Those are medicine. These are medicine. Some from the garden for tea, some over the counter, some prescribed. Tomorrow the rain will wash the faded blooms off the community of paroxysms in response. Deep in my gut, my soul, a chronic bruised feeling aligning with loss, grief, all the deaths line up. She let go of euphoria, let go the heart balloons, face loss, but created more. Keep a positive aspect in spite of war. That's the third one. And I believe this is the last one. This one's called Original Sin. One, we go to the bar for a drink. He plays guitar, sings, accompanies your pop-up poetry performance. Later with drinks until they've cut him off, he asks, "Are you a sinner?" "I'm a Buddhist," I say. "I don't think that way. There is a darkness and light. Don't you believe in original sin?" he asks. "No," we say. "Have you ever lusted? Do you ever lie?" We were being put on the spot. We don't believe we're evil after all. We leave the bar just in time before his final judgment. By now, no one is innocent of such histories. No adult race, country, tribe, except children born without blame. We all hold responsibility. It isn't sin we carry in our hearts, but history in our very DNA. We all can be classified as sinners or people trying to overcome. There is a judging, roaming eyeball following our every move. If we bear witness to the whole of time, not judgment of sin, but compassion, do we drop sin like an old robe to the floor? We are responsible to make the world better instead. 3, the Buddha statue was made with loving hands. Their light and intent follow me from room to room. Offerings, robin's egg shell, fresh roses, flowers, a rainbow string of glass beads, candle and flame light my vision for the day. The moon escapes me. Ancient magic yo-yo pulls us all back and forth. Wordcraft, no spells, but magical thinking. Imagine the awe-inspiring natural world, healing, abundant, and well. Don't feed the illness. Make your wishes bright and light-filled. She says, walk lightly on the earth. Feel the pulses of all the life connected to you. Feel your own pulse here. We are one with all things natural, not overlords, but stewards after all. We all own this concept of original sin. Let judgment go. Let kindness rule your heart and soul. We change the world by breathing, open wide, let all the medicine sink in. And I believe that's the last one. That's Amy Hoskins, everybody. Ooh. I'm very excited to announce this next poet because I actually wrote a poem about her a while back. It was freshly in the midst of COVID, and we had Poetry in the Brew on Zoom, and Donna Jane Whitney had just read, and I was drinking at the time, like most of us were during COVID. And I wrote this while I was drunk. I'm gonna read it. It's how I'm gonna introduce you. Yeah. 'Cause I wrote it in a way. I wrote it in a way like I was the host and I was introducing you, and I actually am the host now. So it's really cool.
That's great.
Okay, this is called Ode to Reverend Dr. Donna Jane Whitney. Dear God, when I am over 50, I want to look like Reverend Dr. Donna Jane Whitney. I want everyone to look at me not for the clothes I wear or how I cut my hair, but for the wisdom behind my eyes. My God, to this image, let me rise. I want to be friends with Reverend Dr. Donna Jane Whitney. I want to try on her clothes without the worry if it would fit me. I imagine she has countless scars for the swaying silhouette she carves. Then I want to stand in front of her full-length mirror and say, in poetry and in prose, I am a motherfucking superior. It might sound creepy to say I want to look like Reverend Dr. Donna Jane Whitney, but it's no different than a 90s girl aspiring to be like Christina or Britney. Let her tell you about her dachshunds. Let her tell you how a poem is like a body part. You might want to stick around and miss the jitney. Please allow me to welcome to the stage Miss Reverend Dr. Donna Jane Whitney. Is that my
No, is it low enough for me?
Yeah.
So we're going to read together. This is Peggy Douglas. And our poems tend to sort of talk to each other. Our poems kind of talk to each other, so we decided to do this together. And you're first, right?
I think so.
You picked it.
Okay.
This is called Twisted Roots.
If you're from the South, you may be able to relate.
No one just happened to Tennessee when I was born. We sprang from twisted roots of Southern farmers and wives who birthed babies like biscuits, one after another, self-rising like Martha White's flower. Children fluttered like baby robins as we flew from the nest with no promise we'd survive the places that scared us. Our mama said the good life offered no fresh air, or room for God to come in and shake things up. But every so often, usually in the summer, when the sun is so warm-hearted that yesterday can be forgotten and tomorrow is just another day, we rest beside a waterfall and let the cool loneliness tumble between our fingers until all misgivings drift downstream, leaving nothing but our native land.
This one is called Hope. The fig tree has given its last figs. The branches are bare, a leaf here, a leaf there. The first snow flurries have fallen. Too soon, we all said, too soon. The cardinal sits on an empty branch and sings his insistent song to the gray sky. Next year, next year, next year, next year, there will be more leaves, more figs. Next year.
You like that from my fig tree?
I did.
I'll tell them all about it.
We're both mothers. This one's dedicated to my daughter now. No longer can I swoop her up gently, daub her crying eyes, or chicken soup the angry fevers and colds. She tends to her own girl now, shelters her from palace rains, reheats her broken heart, while I feed tender pieces of dry forest in the warm morning stove, remembering times when my daughter and I split kindling with a butcher knife, the days I raised the fire so we could draw close and silently feed on honey biscuits and syrup, until we had our fill. I'd watch her travel the path to school, catch her look back at the smoke spiraling from the flagstone chimney, and look again on her way home. This winter I'm haunted. Does she see the smoke now?
This is called my house. Mouse poop in the cabinet says I don't live alone here. And last week there was a slug on the dining room table. Not its natural habitat, but there it was. Charo's ears lift with dachshund intelligence as I grind the beans to make coffee for one. The lawnmower's cousin used to live in this house not so long ago and held fabulous parties in the backyard all through June and into July. Fireflies rise on currents of their leftover gaiety. I don't live alone here. My mother's hand slices tomatoes on the cutting board, sun-warm, fragrant, and thick. Hers are the hands I see, parting the earth's sweet flesh. My father's voice travels from the overflowing heart of the universe and forms the song in my throat. My daughter's bodies have left their marks on mine, and I am no longer only me, as if I ever was. This is my house, and I don't live here alone.
Yeah, okay. Gathering the pieces. My grandchild asked if I'm happy, writing alone in a 3-room cabin with no neighbors in sight. Why waste precious energy on family gossip or idle chit-chat, I answered. Someday she'll understand why I must still the whirlwinds of living by luring truth to paper, claiming the pieces of my past to make them mine. When she asked what I'd do after all my parts were gathered, I laughed. I'll just clutch them to my heart and shout, "Welcome, my dear, dear days."
This is called tall stack. My days stack up like buckwheat pancakes, or maybe like Bartholomew's hats. Will the syrup drip all the way down to the day when a starling snatched the praying mantis from my 10th-story windowsill? The one when I danced naked in the rain to celebrate the end of the drought? Before or after the one when I almost left and then lost my nerve? And those hats. Is it the one with the feathers where Linda piled blankets on me, swiped from the bunks of other campers, to keep me warm in that Adirondack cabin, and I woke up like the princess who slept on the pea except inverted? Or was that the hat with the velvet ribbon? Which hats lie above the earthquake and which ones below? Which earthquake, for that matter? So many in Southern California. The buckwheats, the fedoras, the berets, the days sit one on top of the other, becoming indistinguishable. But the days of my future lie down one at a time, like tiles on a Scrabble board. Click, 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 click. Reaching for the triple word score square of your embrace.
Beautiful. Afternoon rain slowly releases downtown from the summer's sweltering grip. Steam rose from damp asphalt and blanketed roads in the syrupy scents of petroleum. Pausing at the stoplight in my Chevy Corvair, I noticed the weather-beaten woman, face drawn and wrinkled with age, parked in an upstairs window of her faded clapboard apartment. Cigarette stub squeezed tight between her teeth, as if taking communion from a casual breeze. I watched her blow trouble away through hole after hole until my thoughts turned home. It meant nothing to me at the time. Only later would I call her beautiful.
last one is also called Beautiful. When those people in Turkey started polishing obsidian to make mirrors 6,000 years ago, it must have seemed like a good idea at the time. But when you see how it all turned out, you have to wonder. Now everybody's making mirrors. The ad man, the makeup lady, the insecure boyfriend, the hiring agent, the ICE agent, the girlfriend's father. They've all got a mirror for you to look in. The mirror that says, you're too short, too fat, too brown. The mirror that says, you're too hairy, too bald, too scruffy, too sensitive, too aggressive, too shy. Everybody has a mirror for you. But, my dear ones, you don't have to look in those mirrors. Cover them, if you must, with the black crepe of mourning, or cover them with the rainbow flag of freedom. Some mirrors are bad luck even before they're broken, especially before they're broken. Prop a mountain of truth in front of some mirrors, and they'll reflect back a lie every time. A true mirror doesn't have to flatter you to show you your beauty. It simply shows you you. Don't wait until you chance upon that old photo with wild hair and blazing eyes that makes you gasp and say, my God, I was beautiful. Too bad I didn't know it then. Don't wait for the gentle daughter long and deep, because, my you are beautiful now.
Would you two lovely ladies like a rose?
Oh, yeah. We'll share one.
Share one?
For you.
That is so cool.
Yeah. I feel like I was with the celebrity.
You two are like a dynamic duo. You guys were amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so I just read this name off the list, and I'm drawing a blank. Hold on. Peggy Douglas? Okay, so I was wondering that. I wasn't sure. So after that is, I think you're up next, Henry L. Jones. I think you are next. So I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a bone to pick with you.
What I do is
Okay.
I say, well,
So you are the poet laureate of Hendersonville, Tennessee. Is that correct? How does one become a poet laureate of Hendersonville, Tennessee? Because I grew up there, and yes,
you gotta have
and
one out
I've
there, see?
been writing poetry since I was 15. So jealousy. So tell me how.
$50,000 and drive.
I feel like a reporter right now.
Huh?
I feel like a reporter right now. Tell me all about Henry L. Jones.
It's dark, and I had a bag full of money, and the guy said he'd make it happen.
Ooh,
I've been doing poetry for a long time, in Chicago, in Detroit, in Nashville, and then in Hendersonville, starting in Hendersonville. And it's just like a job in terms of what have you done, what's your experience, and so forth. And all that was placed on the table. A committee looked at my background and talked to me, and boom.
I got you. I got my eye on you, Henry L. Jones.
You're just,
I like to say your name. I like to say your name, Henry L. Jones. Okay, so here we are.
Silence, you can call me Jonesy. Hey guys. Yeah, a lot of people ask that, and every city, every state, county, they look for different things because I'm part of a group of other poet laureates, and we've shared those notes in terms of how did it happen, you know. And Hendersonville has not ever had one, as far as, you know, and others have. So things are just getting structured. And I read at Hendersonville High School on Thursday and met some very talented young poets in the theater class. And I was just amazed because, you know, in terms of the arts, when I'm dead and gone, I would love to know that there are a lot of young artists out there continuing to express, and they see the arts as viable And I think that's part of it, silence. Just out there. There we go. Ideal height. All right, tonight I'd like to share a couple of things. First, let me back up, because you said you had a bone to pick.
Yeah.
I was sitting there saying hello to different people, and then Donna, and we're talking about you, and then I just been, I guess, sarcastic. I said, I said it first. This place I associate with Christine, and she said, "Yeah, I know what you mean." We're going back and forth, those short memories. And I said, Christine has changed a little. She said, "Yeah," and I like her hat, so we were just playing with that, But I felt your spirit in some of the poetry and the brew events, and as human beings, we just are familiar with things. But I know that poetry in this place is in good hands. So thank you very much. So there I was, documenting the moment, thinking about Christine, and then I see this head right there on the floor. And I'm like, I'm nearsighted, guys. Some of you, like Billy, Mary, y'all look like birds to me right now. But I said, am I seeing something? That's Christine. So she snuck in there. I'm glad she's here. And that's actually ideal because she's passing on the baton. And you did say this is new for you. And just like a job, you get a job, if they hire you and you don't have that experience, and then you don't have a mentor or someone to kind of oversee how things are run, and then what happens? Oh, about 6 months later, they say, let's kind of look where you've been. You're like, well, nobody told me nothing. Well, you done messed up a lot. Well, nobody showed me how things would go. So I'm glad Christine was here to kind of give you that. You're doing a wonderful job, and you're making it you. And that's just like Words Out. This is your sacred space, and thank you for continuing. Because I would have been heartbroken. Portland Brew ended, and then here, maybe if it's a comedy shop, that would be cool. We don't have a lot of those. But I'm glad you have continued Portland. Thank you again. All right. A moment in the clouds. I wrote this for a friend that lost her sibling. I've shared it I read it at Hendersonville High School, brought tears. I've read it other places. And a friend of mine online lost a sister. She could not have the Zoom open mic. And this is a person only knew through that Zoom session, the host. No phone number, not on Facebook. And I just sat there stunned because I've had these moments of death. I think about death a lot, right about death. So here it is. Our moment in the clouds. I remember when we laid in the grass watching clouds as they slowly raced across the sky while hearing our laughter bounce between the blades of grass and dandelion. Standing proudly between us, they seemed to laugh with us and soak the warmth shining down. We waited for the day to end. Days seemed to last forever back then. Only time by our moments and laughter of games and joys we shared. Now you're gone, my sister. I sit in silence and just wait. Time lingers as I look for vacant places to put myself. Clouds pass above my head and become thick and heavy the way my heart feels inside. Rain falls from the clusters of soft drizzle, but I don't move. It helps camouflage my tears, falling and feeding my grief, but nothing grows but pain and sudden fits of anger. I try to wipe away the wetness, the sun emerges and a break of blue. I look up into the sky, soaked, clouds part more. I stare. Through glassy eyes at two clouds, I swear between clumps of them, I saw your peeking, smiling face, looking at me and laughing. I know those eyes anywhere. As you dance through cotton candy swirled world, the longness of sweetness in the clouds. When I see clouds, I remember. And it's like we're together again. In the grass, next to dandelions, who laugh with us in sunshine, we're together again in that field. Because my memories of you and our love will never die. This next piece, I was part of a program called Art Wire through the Porch Writers Collective and Oz Art Nashville. And we saw throughout the entire year all these wonderful performances, dancing, plays, puppetry, just wonderful, great stuff. And this performance is called The Longest Night. And it was just, in terms of the senses, and it was just overwhelming in terms of my senses. But it used so much lighting, sound, a lot of stuff. And this piece is the one that came for that performance. Darkness Becomes Me. Darkness becomes me, the stale remains of day lingers in my eyes, awaiting lucid dreams to slip into my mind. Show me another realm where I spread my wings, then jump into the pitch, draping the universe, gathering orphan stars, needing a place to shine. As my blackness congeals, trapping fallen angels with heavy fishnets. Face laced with warm molasses and lingering lust, then snip their wings off and sew them onto my sides. When I breathe, they lift me. A hybrid of flesh and feathers awaiting a current of air to slip beneath me, then spread my cells open, blocking the sun so easily and feel its warmth and desire. As my flesh in this darkness, blended in the longest nights, a hidden beauty with songs, as I await the longer days to reveal what I've become. The longest nights, darkness becomes. And this last one, I like this mic. Let me take it off. There we go. Okay, that's much better. All right. This piece was written as a commemoration to the first responders. And this was at the Folk Music and Bluegrass Festival in Hendersonville, commemorating the first responders of 9/11. I was asked to write this and presented it. And I've only read this piece, well, this will be the third time actually. I read it at the festival. I read it for the high school students on Thursday. And I was like, how come I don't read this? And you know, when there are pieces commemorating things, you think, oh, I'll break that out. It's 9/11 commemoration, read it. But sometimes what you share within it, even though the event is not going on, there might be some elements that trigger memories and association and all that good stuff. All right, here we go. Echoes of Silence. I remember smelling as I walked through thick black smoke which looked like fog, burning wire, wood, and chemicals. Smoke surrounded me as my eyes teared while walking through the clusters of debris. Those scents in the air lingered up my nose. I saw piles of broken beams and walls and other items, just too many to list. My mind tried to compare another tragedy. It was like a tornado ravaged that building, like an angry child stumped on ants. Sounds of crashes like cars, accidents echoed as I walked by, when broken but more sections fell, adding to the mountains of devastation, causing more smoke to shoot up into the air, mixing with the fumes of the fires, melting the rubble with their heat. I looked for clear areas of sky, like when a rainy day of gray clouds, you want to see the sun to allow sunshine to peek, hoping that light rays beam through your window blinds, streaks of light pointing with dancing dust to let me know, look over there. No, over there. To try to find some survivors, I heard cries and moans everywhere. Among the building's layers of steel and concrete, once a giant standing almost high as the clouds, where you were able to look onto the tops of other buildings, where Greek gods erected on their rooftops, immortal design and legacy to protect visitors. But on 9/11, none of that mattered, I realized. I searched for the hidden voices singing out, faces peeking like children playing hide and seek, where they waited in pain and patience to be found. I stopped and closed my eyes to focus more, wanting to hear the direction to search. My ears may be better than my eyes, I thought, but there was nothing but echoes of silence, like the center of a graveyard in the morning. I wondered, had I imagined what I heard? No, I did hear them and they were there. I knew in the layers of fear, trapped souls waited as unfound people trying to hold on. All I had to do was find the right hole, that spot where someone's blinking eye looked out and a voice whispered, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I could save that person, at least one. Then sweeping through broken tempered glass while the sun shines on broken edges to a smile trapped in darkness below. I would find and see someone. Or if I could just laver up with the iron rod under broken concrete and twisted rebar, give a mighty push to lift up that door-sized fallen headstone, I'd find another. There was life below, I believe. This kept me going through the thick fog to quickly find and lift survivors up to safety from the bones of the fallen giant. Tattooed with the bloodstains of the dead who scattered torn body parts, show such as lost fingers, legs, and toes laid like pavers on a road into hell. I kept walking, not fearing demons, until I found someone, then another, and another, watching them carried away, holding on to life, my eyes full of tears, of joy and disbelief for them. There I was in this sudden nightmare as a first responder, trying to retrace and save the American dream. Thank you.
Oh, careful. Would you like a rose? Rose or candy? Rose? I'll hand it to you. There you go. And don't worry about that. That was the soothing sounds of Henry L. Jones, everybody. So this is about the time that we introduce our feature, but since we don't have a feature tonight, how about we take a little break? Can everyone use a break? About a 10-minute break, maybe? Okay. So I think this would be a good time to pass around this tip jar that I have. Please tip generously. It goes to the baristas downstairs. and they are kind enough to stay open late for us, and this gives us a roof over our heads. It makes the show possible. So we have a suggested cover of $5. So there's that. And it would also be a good opportunity to grab a business card, or if you haven't signed up yet, the sign-up sheet is right over there. So that is it for now. When we come back in 10 minutes, AW Cage will be next. So be ready for that.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Is that cheaper? No, that's still cheaper. Starbucks is like, yeah, I don't normally go to Starbucks. I don't either unless it's late. Yeah, they're like we just I love Jody makes fun of me. You gotta get what you get. I guess you just have to know it was just
It was very terrible.
oh really?
It looked like a great scene.
Yeah.
And it was hard as a rock.
Yeah, you have to tell them lightly twisted. I've never chipped my tooth. I'm like, I really did chip my tooth. I did.
It was very difficult.
Yeah.
There was other things wrong. I just can't remember.
It was really to see. It's going to work, unfortunately.
I'm glad things are going well with you and Jeremy.
Yes. Did you call
I
him?
did say the name.
What did you say?
Jody.
Jody. Mom calls him Joey.
Jody.
She calls him Joey. I'm like, Jody?
Jody.
Jody.
The dead.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
I'm glad. And it's really good that he's already wanting to. But you know, like when guys see a girl that they're actually interested in, like they're not gonna play.
No.
They're gonna be like, hey,
No.
dude.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So it's a really good sign.
Yeah. I mean, I know it seems like it's fast, but like it's really not because like
Yeah,
we're
y'all
not
already know each
moving.
other.
We're not moving fast like as far
Yeah, he just wants to make sure that you know he's very interested. He doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want
he
you.
keeps telling me.
Because one of the things that like they're kind of scared to take things too slow to be like, you can just forget it. So
Right,
it's like,
right.
so, you know, I am serious.
Exactly. You're right.
That's very,
Yeah, he keeps telling me he's not going anywhere.
yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
You know something Martin said to me? You know something Martin said to me?
Who said you?
Martin.
What did he say?
He said he also shot me in his truck.
He wants to do what?
He shot me and put me in his truck. It's like, it's sweet in a very morbid way.
How is it sweet in any way? I think she was.
It doesn't ever work with Louis.
Oh, is that right? Like, he's gonna choke you up and just like.
I last week, I did it like 2 weeks ago.
Are you sure you don't need one?
Last week I mentioned it, and he said, "No, you've been good." Like maybe you can. Okay. Sarah thought it was sweet.
Oh my gosh! In a morbid way. Oh my goodness.
Basically saying that he doesn't ever want to lose.
Yeah.
Her life,
What is
you know?
Is whatever she is. What did you think?
Oh, yeah, he's strong. He's been to something like that.
I don't like being in that situation. I don't like being.
Yeah. Is it worth all this trouble? I mean, really?
I mean, it's not really trouble for me.
It's not trouble for you. You don't feel like you're in the middle. You know what I mean? Do you feel like it's just like you? I mean, do you feel like you are just a convenience to him, or I don't know? It just, I mean, because y'all been doing this shindig for a minute now.
Like, yeah, so there's like, in like 3 months straight, and like there's 3 months where he was trying to.
Yeah.
You say so sisters.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
they're not. Even when they were living together, they were. No,
You know what I mean?
it's not her.
Okay.
She likes to use it for money.
Do they have kids together?
They do not. She has some fun, but when like they've known each other for a long time. Before they
Yeah. No. You're good.
Oh, and so he's done the little boy since he's young, so he feels attached to him like he's a father, but it's not there.
Yeah.
So he's 18,
Yeah.
19.
How old is he?
Marvin, my age. He's or 1 year older than me. I'm 37, so he's 38.
Okay, 37. Okay.
So he's 38.
So we're a year apart. I'm 36.
36. Okay, 36.
And Jody is turning 39 on the 22nd.
I like that he's taller.
Oh my gosh, he's so tall.
So I don't know him.
No.
But like the height and then like the picture with him and the fishing rod and everything. He likes outdoors and stuff.
Yes.
Ashton
Kutcher?
Ashton Kutcher. No, like
He kind of looks like Ashton Kutcher. That's what he gets all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's
I
more
think he
attractive.
looked like those things.
Yeah.
That was it. He's a long time.
Oh, okay.
Not around anymore.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, no.
But
Oh, no.
yeah, but he just reminds me of that. So, huh? Yeah, what are those?
That passed away. Yeah, he had a heart attack. Yeah, at 36.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's insane. 'Cause
Like
he was married, had 2 kids, and 1 on the way.
So was it his first heart
It was
attack?
his,
He died from?
yeah.
Did he go to the hospital, get any help?
I don't know. I wasn't with him. No, he died then. Like he died in their bed.
So,
It was
okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like maybe he had a heart attack, maybe he didn't get treatment. Maybe
No,
because your
no, he didn't
heart
make
your
it.
heart dies.
No, we had it
So
right
it was
there.
instant.
So I'm not gonna go.
So I drove to the other county. It was like an oasis. So I drove to the next county. And I got to the cooler was here. I was like, no, it's padlocked. Are you serious? I'm like touching the glass, it's right there.
Okay, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Take your seats. I gave you guys a few extra minutes to chat. While everyone's taking their seats, let me ask you a quick question. When you think of poetry, what do you think of? Shout out your answers. Happiness? Early morning rain? I like that answer. Confidence? Conviction. Okay. I like it. Anybody else? Naked toes, lady. All right, good answers. So, up next, I'm going to go ahead and introduce this poet. And she has a special announcement. Sarah Mingus, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. I do have a special announcement. I'm starting my own poetry show at the Madtown Coffee House in Madison. So next Tuesday is the second Tuesday, which will be our first event. So it's all about bold, brave poetry. So all of those poems and stories about your life that maybe you've been afraid to share at other events, this is the event for you. So it's really about bold, brave. Cursing is allowed as long as it adds to the creative content of the poem. So I'm really excited about doing this. It's also my first attempt at hosting events, so we'll see how that goes. Madtown Coffee House has been really great to allow me the space to do this. So I just wanted to kind of share that this is one of the first places I ever performed poetry in Nashville when I first arrived here, and I knew about 3 people, and Christine was one of them. So I'm really excited to be here tonight. I'm so excited that you've taken over this time and space, because while it's different as it should be, there's like just little waves of love, poetry love, as soon as you walk upstairs. So thank you so much for doing this. You're doing a fantastic job. So I just want to give you a little round of applause. And then I'm just going to read a few poems from Whiskey Sweet, my latest collection, to give you an idea of kind of what I mean about just life stories. So if you've grown up in the South, you can probably relate to this poem. I did not, but I think it still applies. Ice clinking in the glass. Her childhood vibrated with the sharp sound of ice clinking in a glass. Always at 5, never late, though sometimes early. My grandpa believed that every day at 5 p.m. was happy hour. So I'm known as the Naked Toast Girl, but I'm also known as the girl who also writes about fighting Barbie. So here's a poem about Miss Revlon. Does anyone here know what the Revlon doll is? So the Revlon doll is pre-Barbie era. And this is a story about the Revlon doll that my mom gave me. Miss Revlon. My heart sank to the floor when I unwrapped Miss Revlon. Cool girls all had Barbies with silky, straight, blonde hair. Miss Revlon's head was full of brunette curls. She had little girl cherub cheeks, wide-eyed, innocent eyes, like a child playing dress-up. Ken did not care for Miss Revlon, but he loved Barbie's tiny waist, curvy hips, and perfect boobs. Great-Grandma Reese stitched Miss Revlon's clothes by hand, a shiny red coat, white mink hat and muff, leopard skin colored coat and beret. I wish I had taken more time with Miss Revlon, the doll my mother adored. Today, a sought-after collector's item. This is the last one. Bull Brave poetry was inspired by my late mother. Her death was actually the catalyst of my starting to do featured readings, and that was several years ago. So I wrote this poem that appeared in my book, Naked Toes, because I felt like she was missing in the book and I needed her energy there. So it's a love letter back to her about an article she wrote about me. Be bold. Be bold, she whispered, scribbled on the pages of her soul. Go forth and be you, my majestic creature, always be you. Break through that glass ceiling imposed on you by men. Wonder Woman style. Follow your Irish wandering hearts. Let excitement flow through your veins. 8 parts poet, 3 parts extrovert, 1 part introvert, with a pinch of well-timed sass. And Anderson clan stubbornness to round it all out. Believe, and you shall receive. Do things you never dared to try. Keep making mistakes, for that is how you will learn. Love life for its exhilaration. Take the good with the bad, and sometimes eat cake for breakfast. Thank you.
Would you like a rose before you go, Sarah Mingus? Would you like a rose, candy?
Oh, yes, Rose. That was
We're going to get in the habit of this eventually. Okay, so up next, we have this young, handsome man in glasses right here, A.W. Page.
They say that you either live by the sword or die by the sword, which is why I carry a pin, because it is mightier with words that I have said, truths that are told. I am known as A.W. Page. I have only been doing this for a couple of months now. This is the second time I have been here to Portland Brew East. The last time I was here was the final iteration of Poetry in the Brew that the wonderful, beautiful Christine Hall hosted. And I like it here. I do. I like it. So without further ado, I do things differently, okay? You know, poetry is great because creative expression allows anybody to do anything with anyone, right? Before I get into my poetry, I would also like to make a quick public service announcement. Everybody is so gung-ho about getting in and hosting shows. I love it. I love to see it, you know, and I have kind of hopped on that bandwagon myself. I am taking over the show Unpublished at Campus Pub in Murfreesboro by the MTSU campus. That is going on tomorrow. Sign-ups start at 6. The open mic is from 7 to 9. So if you would like to come out, I'd definitely love to see some familiar faces. Without further ado, this first one is titled Choices. When winds of change call on echoes of the past, you learn too late, grow too fast. Mistakes you made up for, hardships you endured, with all you'd fight to make it all right. But would it be? Would it be that you got yourself in trouble again and tried to fix the issues you created, inflated by your situation because it added to the weight? And you waited it out. Ice cold and stout as that Irish drink you overpaid for at the Halloween party. You had fun. Sure, But that drink wasn't the only thing you were drowning in. Get your mind out of the gutter. Oh, wait a minute. Everything's in the gutter, crowded in clutter, and your problems are your only possessions. Guilty now from those confessions you said by that box you dread, but you weren't even Catholic. Who knows? Maybe it'll help. Anything will when you're this low. Feeling like you have one leg in the grave or the dancing at a rave. Tell me, what do you crave? Is it peace or is it life? You can't choose both. It's one or the other. It's just this life. No next times, brother. So thank your father. Thank your mother. Because you never know when it'll be the last time you see each other. So get smothered in those kisses and hugs by the ones you love and realize you're tired of pretending you don't know which you'll choose. Do not lose this opportunity to cruise on a sunny day. Hands catching waves of air, wind in your hair. This is feeling. Being. Giving cause to exist without pause, accepting all flaws because I am imperfectly perfect and want to keep living. Thank you. Thank you. This next one I have is titled Praise to the Prophet. Enjoy. A false king they made you, no witnesses to bear. The burden is yours alone as thorns begin to tear, twisting like the barbs of a sacrificial effigy, placed upon your head like skulls upon stakes, dug into the earth. As such, they are rooted inside your mind. Your flesh is consumed, body now withered. Could you be renewed into something more? Precautions taken to ensure the meaningless idol is to endure time, is to endure failure. How so? Now is he who knows no favor. Look to the sky, he returns to it sweetly, beaten and broken neatly. This poor man, a martyr, may do no harm. Though it seems as if the screams of the damned call to this pretender, ascender of godhood, not rightfully his, and it is, as it should be. Thank you. Now this last one, I gotta use a book for it. I don't have it memorized, but that is okay, because I guess I'm following a trend here. So this one is titled Inkless. Little red dots dribbling down her fingertips, but this time it is not the pin of her. Excuse me. I'm sorry, let me back that up real quick. Little red dots dribbling down her fingertips, but this time it is not the ink of her colored pen she used to etch the very words written on the page. It is a different type of crimson-colored liquid, the kind that does not flow out of the nib of a trusty fountain pen. Instead, it flows out of her arms, off the tip of the blade she used when she finally had enough. It had almost looked like a painter had dipped a cherry-stained brush into the clean cup, swirling tones of bright red into clear waters. She didn't want to write this. She didn't want to let go. But after she spilled her ink, her pen no longer wrote. Thank you. Have the roses all you want. I'll take these Lindor truffles.
Looks like you got the good one. That's my favorite kind of candy right there.
Right?
Lindor truffles all the way. Okay, well, thank you so much for that, AW Page. Up next, we have Garrett Lee. Hello, Garrett Lee. Have I seen you here before? Okay. Rock the mic.
How about that weather? All right. These are gonna. Well, okay, never mind. I'm just. Currently workshopping the title of this one, but for now it's called All We Want. All right. Coffee cup warms my fingers and sip my tongue. There are sensations telling me that I am alive. What does that mean anyway? But the click reminds me I am simply getting older. Stupid antisocial clock, I'd kill you, but I already poison you every day. Christian Huygens is long dead, but I'd kill that bastard too. How is bastard not a slur yet? He was antisocial just the same. For what other reason would anyone perch inside all day to create? Aren't we all? We're everything and nothing at once. We're all clocks ticking, chasing the hand that blessed us with hours, murdering every monotonous minute. Aren't we all? This one's called Marlboro Reds. Also, I cannot say that word to save my life. Marlboro Reds, alternate title, Very Good Life Advice, and that's the full title. Yeah, here we go. We're selling early death. That's the true American spirit. Smoke it up while you can. If 20 ain't enough, you can always buy more. Buy more, buy more. Fuck it, buy it all. Take as much as you can carry. Don't drop the menthol from between your fingers. Nobody does it better than us, huh? Smoke a carton, smoke two, sniff the dream on faded denim. Don't even try to wash it out. Maybe the booze on the top shelf is more your speed. Have a couple drinks, don't forget your keys. You know how cheap it is to get a real estate license? Here, let me give you my card. Business hours are on the back. Who rents these days? Hey, don't smoke around my kids. Hell, might as well start them young. But none of them pussy lights. Let me smoke what my granddaddy smoked. You better inhale that shit, boy. And don't listen to your teachers. They're smoking roll-ups these days. We ought to get the menthols back in schools. You can always trust your uncle. Best advice I ever got, he said, you better buy some damn bootstraps. I like to write a stream of consciousness, if you can't tell. Kind of like to bounce from one thing to the next. I'm going to apologize in advance for what I'm about to read. It's very, well, you'll see, I guess. The three in the back have heard this one before, I think. I actually wrote it so you can not see you back there last month. So here you go. It's called Poem for Callie. It started as something very morbid, not morbid, but absurd for the sake of being absurd. Yeah, you can thank Alan Ginsberg for this poem. Called Poem for Callie. I will likely always dribble a little bit of piss on the seat. Forgive my reprehensible aim. I usually prefer to squat, but that made me less of a man. I'm sorry. I've got a cock that's too excited to piss. My favorite part about sex has always been letting it flow afterwards. I promise I'll always clean up after myself. But isn't it sometimes fun to piss outside the bowl? Instead of a dog, he pisses and shits, sometimes eats it too. All over everything. In the house, outside the house, on the house. Yet we still love him the same. I shit outside once. What a decision for an 11-year-old to make in the front yard or in his cargo shorts. I should have added a shit bucket. And I've never felt so connected to the bloodline, to nature, to Callie. I used to sit out on the back deck and get stone cold stoned on dope with my piss drunk daddy and waddle her way inside to hunt down the leftover Thanksgiving turkey and then pass out and pass gas for days. But on the third, she rose like Jesus to waddle her way back outside, down the deck stairs, into the backyard, to sniff for an unmarked plot and pop a big, smelly, honking shit. That's fertilizing, my dear. And she was the best damn dog I've ever met. Such boundless love spread with boundless bodily function. I cried when a black Suburban tore through her like the knife that carved her turkey. More than when my cheating mother and alcoholic father sat me down to tell me they were getting separate places. I missed that damn dog. If I could sing to her my caca conquest, she'd reply with her classic four-legged smile and a canine kiss on the cheek. So you better believe I'm going to piss all over everything and shit outside too, because that's what Callie really wants.
Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you so much. So up next, I'm surprised to see her name on the list because I thought that she was just here to support me. But she's also going to be reading tonight, and I'm very pleasantly surprised. Everyone, please welcome the great Christine Hall. Give it up for Silence Wordsmith. What?
It's really cool to see you do this. I love dreams come true. Cheers to that. It's for me too to see this live on and so beautifully. Thanks all y'all for carrying on the torch of poetry. I'm gonna read 3 quick ones, maybe. Yeah, okay. Pop music. I am an ambisexual idea box. The television is an ambisexual idea box. The meat I eat is dead meat. I accept death. Torture really irritates me. If I get frustrated enough, I might change how I treat this information, what I do with this. I save a worm from its struggle across the pavers. I cultivate dandelions. Things change when I accept the unacceptable current state. It has to be for it to change. Age-appropriate adaptation ensures I continue being. It is evolution's crossover hit record. It is fossil rock teaching me new tricks. You don't have to get outdated, but you do have to apply the updates. The reading. Pale green dots. Every moment is a poem. This poem is bigger than a moment. How can anything be bigger than a moment, bigger than all of it? Pale green snot drips. Sniff, sniff, sniffling. Hop-nailed, sleazy toad. Doesn't that make you want to jizz? My eyes invade your earhole from the back row. Black hairs and one white one poke your lobes. The patterns of your clothes are meticulous poems. I hear noises coming from inside the floating, padded gray panels, and this is too much information for one moment, so it becomes a poem. Thank you. Should we not talk about the pop rocks going off in my soul? Like, oh, so that's where a soul is. Like butterfly confetti, butterfly chicken, spatchcocked. What a dirty word soul is. Should I not write poems then about every new feeling? The butterfly chicken of my innards requests a seat at the table. She has some poetry to say. For she has never been allowed a feeling to this day. Maybe this is the day she began existing. Maybe she can go on this way. Maybe I'm insane, and why shouldn't I?
Christine, I know you're not leaving this mic without a rose, right? Oh my God! Rose or candy, take your pick. I know. It's okay. Everyone, one more time for the great Christine Hall. How I will miss you. I am going to miss you so much. Okay, who is Zach E? I'm trying to get to know everybody. All right, Zach E, you're up next. You're a tall one. Say a little bit about yourself. He's going to say a little bit about himself. Say something about yourself.
I'm Zach.
I'm putting you on the spot. It's okay. You can.
I'm Zach. I work in STEM education and STEAM education. What do we want to do? Sorry.
Just anything. All right, Zachy, everybody.
How about this? I like writing and poems because it's when I feel like thinking. Sorry. Pardon, Professor Universe. Sorry, sir, I know it's not office hours. But can I please ask for an extension on my paper? Sorry, no, sir. I have been working on it every day and every hour of my life. I would really like to do a second draft. What? No, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. No, I don't plan to change the topic. It's just, well, I wrote it in pen and I see so many mistakes. But like here, page 16, paragraph 3, I used the word caution when I meant to say fear. And look here, when I said funny, well, it should have been stupid. And to be honest, sir, there are so many run-on sentences and a few paragraphs that should have been cut. Yes, sir, I know these are common mistakes. I'm sure you've had a good 20 people in here already wanting to go back and add in a kissing scene or rip out a good 10 pages and just pretend they don't exist. But here's the thing, sir. I don't know how to end it. Talking to the other professors, they'll tell you the same thing. And I'm running out of pages in the notebook. And that's why it feels like the first draft, you know? I had all these blank pages, and it was so much fun to fill them full of ideas, just letting everything go for a bit. But I feel like I have to be so careful. Otherwise, well, I don't know. Please, I could use the second draft. I can feel the red ink of correction running through my veins. But yes, sir. I understand, sir. Of course, sir. But may I at least ask if you're grading on a curve? There's a lot of us who aren't even going to be getting a night quote or heading up the PTA. Yes, I know, sir. It's not just for me. I mean, some people had to turn theirs in early, or they got them taken from them. But I would never accuse you, sir. Perhaps a TA did. And well, I know some people who get frustrated just wanting to turn it in and be done with it. We all really want an A, or at least a passing grade. I mean, most of us just don't want to fail. But yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. I am aware how many students are in this class alone. I know you have to be fair to them all as well. It would just be a couple of papers. I'm going to try something. It may not work, so bear with me. This is the poem of the moment. I once played what if game with a friend on a night out on the street while we were sitting at a bar. I said, if you could be a ghost, what would you want? We were talking about it, and he asked why. I said, wouldn't it be great to be a ghost, alive but not alive, eternity but not worried about eternity? And we were all talking about what we would haunt, and he said, what would you haunt? And I said, well, I'd probably haunt a place like this. A Friday night out, the bars and the restaurants and the people about their ways. And it's hard to explain because it's like, isn't it so wonderful to look and see all the infinite, all the little moments of people going about their ways, all the stories of people, where they're going to be. And it's like the good kind of infinite. The mathematicians will tell you there's multiple infinites because an infinite amount of pocket lens is different from an infinite amount of pennies. And there's just that infinite people and their ideas and their little moments, those moments adding up together, the little moments that suddenly become something. And it was hard to explain, trying to say it. I don't know, I think maybe you said it, paradise by the dashboard light. But I said it, I tried to explain it as just saying at those moments, being on a night where there's no tomorrow and just enjoying the little things that we forget. This is the poem of the moment. I have not written it down. I do not intend to remember it, and it's not mine to own or control. And if I ever try to say it again, I have no idea what it will be. It will be different. This is the poem of the moment. It's gone.
Zachy, everybody, that was a really great finish. That surprised me. Would you like a rose or candy, Zach? Rose. Okay, so this poet that we have up next, I see you over there, Greg Slade. It's your turn. This poet says what he thinks, and I like that.
Check. I think I'm going to do two. This one's called Wheels of Time. There's a sad, sad story behind every set of angry eyes. Sad truth in every dropping tear we've ever seen cried. The psyche succumbs to its being analyzed. Glad to be described by some other device, to see the truth in some kind of a different light, to satisfy the pull coming from the darkness, welling up inside to give some shape to the gravitational waves, seeing the way and place the dark and light provide, barely to escape or scarcely to have survived the journey to the center of the shadow of the mind. All creation in the twinkle of an eye, in a blink it all changes. What was alive has now died. What else, though, could it have ever done than to love the roaming motion of the moon and of the sun, ergo then to consent as we succumb to see a string of happy moments, glad enough to be undone. The thing about thinking one might call wise is that it becomes more true as it goes over time. The thread of love is never lost. It only ever eternally unwinds, coming always again to the prior and the prime. My love is not lost. It's only always been being redesigned. Darkness is the name for a light that's been some way denied. It's cold here, it's still in the refusal of the light. Waking with a start, a reminder to keep keeping that fire alive. That was Wheels of Time. I don't like to tell a bunch of stories, but this kind of is better with a preface. There's a thing called the Bohemian Grove Society, and it's like one of these skull and crossbones kind of really pick the president kind of societies, and they meet out in the redwoods, and they do this really weird thing. They have this ritual where they burn an effigy of an owl while people are enacting this like ancient Greek play that is called the Death of Compassion. And like Reagan was there, Nixon was there, like it's all these big important people, and they have this club and they get together in the redwoods and they burn this effigy of an owl while these people are enacting the Death of Compassion as a play. And I don't know what it all means, but this is what it sparked in my mind. It's a real thing too. It's not, I mean, it sounds like some conspiracy theory stuff, but it's actually true, true thing. So this is called Bohemian Grove. There is a purpose behind the murder of peace, seen in the shadows among the tallest of trees. A reason the old owl should be seen being raised up for the feed. The killing of compassion is a ritual, as if that is the war that we need. The divine feminine, well, then she must be made to bleed. Bleed the need for the touch of the tender cheek, bled the need to care for the poorest and the meek, rid the fertile expanse of the womb, guided by the fire of night, used to usurp the light of the moon, that we might deny our own kind, claiming it's the way to the truth. Have you ever tried to love everyone? To bleed only in favor of the fruit? If our compassion were not compromised, how could we keep doing what we do? Thus the higher among us with the most dire minds dream of what only cold hands could produce, the death of the old wise owl of love, in the quest for a second serving of some golden goose. Shall compassion then be laid on the pyre, as the long shadows seek to seed our desire? Are the juggling fiends to be believed? Promise they to the ears what's sweet? Breaking them to our hope, what breeds a clash, and then a death, end scene. In the play, the dead don't seem to truly bleed. The players don't know alone the arc of the spree, yet the crowd obliges to suspend their disbelief. Entrained in the charade they paid so dearly just to see the death of love among the tall, tall trees, as the powerful breathe deep the sigh of their relief. Thank you. That was Bohemian Grove. I'm Greg Slade. And I'm gonna remember to take a rose.
Oh, Greg Slade, how I'd love to hear your thoughts. So that is the end of our list. Would anyone else like to come up? Would you like to come up again, Tina? Yeah, love to have you.
This is my first time ever doing anything like this. I brought out the easy stuff. Anyway, I call this one the step above. Love can make you happy, but it takes money too. But if you only want money, you should just love you. Money can't buy happiness. Money can't buy love. Money can buy power, but not the step above. Don't let money control your life. Money can change you. If money is all you want, suddenly you will be blue. Can a person be balanced with money and love? Is it possible to have that step above? And this one's for my husband. I just wrote it a couple days ago. My husband, Mike. Mike with love. Your laugh makes me smile. Your touch makes me quiver. Being without you, honey, makes me shiver. When I look in your eyes, I can see your soul. A love like ours is most lovers' goal. We started as good friends, able to count on each other. We have become very close and come to love one another. You brighten my days and filled my nights. We've taken our friendship to wonderful new heights. Thank you for loving me and for letting me grow. I'll love you forever. This I do know. We just celebrated our 20th anniversary last year. Everybody has a funny poem, I hope. I had friends back when I was a teenager that would dare me to write really silly songs, or not like songs, but poetry, and I was asked to write one about duct tape. Okay. Holding things together is what duct tape will do. It'll hold together boxes without having to use glue. It sticks to most anything, maybe not a fish, and I can't say I've used it on a broken dish. Once I used my duct tape to shut my husband's mouth, not that one. I used it on my gas tank when I traveled down south. Duct tape is good for many things, to hold in place a while. Once I used it on my tire, and I just read that one. One thing I've never done, and I wonder if it'll do, is to use duct tape on my head to hold my new hairdo. Duct tape, oh duct tape is the best tape to buy. You can use it most anywhere, and I wouldn't tell a lie. That was pretty. Okay, last one. I caught one just read. I'm flipping through these like crazy. Sorry. Did I lose it? Oh, here it is. This one's called love. It's not tangible. You can't hold it, touch it, or even see it. It's always there, happy or sad, even at times when you're very mad. You can't buy it. It can't even be sold, but it is more precious than silver and gold. Some don't know when it is there. Just because it's special doesn't mean it's fair. This feeling is sent from God above. You'll know when you have it. It's called love.
That duct tape poem was the perfect example that you could write about anything, and I love it. All right, anybody else? All right, AWK.
Welcome back, everybody. So I have one very short, very serious poem, and then I wrote a sonnet for the first time that I will share with you guys. So here's the first one, which is, again, very serious, but very short. Cold days, colder nights, but I always savor that bowl of delight. Thick and viscous, creamy and true, chilies, loaded baked potato soup.
Oh, how I love you. I thought I'd actually read that on stage, but here we are. So the second one is the first sonnet that I've tried writing. I admit, and it is very frustrating sometimes when you want to get stuff out, but you can't really figure out how to write it. But I figured this one out. This one is titled Ode to the Role Model. My role model, thou inspire me to write. I loathe the way you beguile and demand, invading my mind day and through the night, always dreaming about the harsh farmland. Let me compare thee to a stout timber. Thou is more robust, unerring and gray. Cold frost nips the robins of December as wintertime traps the adjoining jay. How do I hate thee? It's hard to digest. I hate thy sinewy hands, arms, and back. Thinking of your adverse heart fills my chest, as my pain for thee is a perfect attack. Now I must away with mine heavy heart. Remember my bold words whilst we're apart. Thank you.
What a poet. Anybody else? Anybody? Going once, going twice. All right. So this is about the time that I looked in the hat to see if anyone put any names in there. I don't know if anyone did. Do we have any? Nope. It's empty.
Oh, we put in the can. We use the can.
Use the can.
The tape.
For the names?
Oh, names.
no.
Names for the.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were talking about.
Okay, well, maybe next time. All right, so I'll go ahead and close out this show. I just want to say that when you go home and put your roses in water, I want you all to think about the power of poetry. I think that poetry is the practice of empathy, and empathy is what makes us human. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a beautiful thing. So go home, write some more, and come back for our reading next month, January 14th. And until then, a Merry Christmas and good night.